Hello, Moonbeams. Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Moon School. This is Donna Kass, and I am here to deliver the weekly moon signs and aspects that Mama Moon is making to both the personal planets and the outer planets. And I just want to say, first off, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, for listening, for all of your support, your comments, and also for your vulnerability and your strength. And, you know, it takes a lot of strength, and it takes bravery and courage. And these are no small times that we are living in here. These are big times. And I know this past week was really, really hard for so many of us out there. And I just want to say, I see you. And I see you and I hear you, and don't give up. Please keep going. We're going to feel things shifting. I promise you that you're going to feel it shifting. And this video is being aired on Sunday. And I feel that for a couple of reasons, I'm going to be putting my videos out, my podcasts out on Sundays. Number one, just logistically, so that you can have the time on a Sunday to tune in, jot down some notes for the week ahead so that you are prepared for the energies that are going to be playing out, and how dynamic Mama Moon is, right? Every couple days she moves into a new sign of the zodiac. And so, we're moving through the four elements. We're moving through very different energies every couple of days. And so I really want you to feel supported for the whole week. But specifically this week, I felt it was extremely important to get this video out early on Sunday, because Sunday, the 21st, July 21st, is this Capricorn full moon at 29 degrees, conjunct Pluto. Even though Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius, because Pluto is so far out, it still affects this full moon quite impactfully. So, but I wanted to get this. I want to get this podcast out very early for you all on Sunday, because we're going to feel a shift come Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to explain all of it. But I just want to begin by saying I am calling this podcast After the Storm. Your authentic self leads now on the path forward. And I saw this incredible photograph that you're hopefully able to see right now on the screen. I saw this photograph on reposted on Instagram this week. I saw it, and it just this was a photograph from upstate New York. This woman, Yvette DeGus, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I'll try to look it up and put it in the comments if I can find it again. But this woman in upstate New York took this photo this week. The weather has been absolutely crazy in upstate New York. They've had, like, literally, I'm not joking, like something like 16 tornadoes. It's been extremely tumultuous. And I saw this picture this week, and it was like, it so caught my attention. And then when I was putting together this podcast, I saw it again in my mind's eye, and I was like, this is it. I was like, this is that lightning and that delineation between dark and light. This photo really expresses what I feel we are all going through, and that there is this delineation between who we have been, our old conditioning, our old beliefs, our consciousness there was a before and there's an after, okay? And this photo, I also feel, is going to be the delineation between this Capricorn full moon at 29 degrees and then after. What is going to come after? Specifically this week, but not just this week. I'm not going to say it's just going to be smooth sailing from here on, but what I will say is that hopefully in this podcast, I will be able to articulate and explain that this crumbling, this difficulty, the hardness, the toughness that we are going through, it's not for nothing, okay? And it is a crumbling, it's an unearthing, it's a purging, so that we can be on the other side, so that we can feel into those clearer skies, right? The storm clearing away, the sun coming back out again. It's going to come back out again, guys. I promise it is. But for so many on the world stage, from now until the end of the year, it's going to be really rough going. We're going to see a lot of chaos, a lot of tumultuousness, a lot of craziness. It's going to be a circus. But what I want to do is continually remind you to come back into your center, to come back into your heart, to simplify, to learn and practice whatever energetic means resonates for you to calm your nervous system. Whether that is slow, deep belly breathing, going for walks in nature, taking salt baths, doing shower meditation, being creative, even if that's, finding a new recipe and cooking something new, right? Like creativity comes in all forms. We need to simplify now. We need to come back into our own energy, into our own vibration, and find ways of connecting with love, beauty, creativity, peacefulness, and small joys, right? The simple things. To be able to be even just in a park, in a local park, and sit quietly and listen to the bird song and sit and look and take in the beauty that is all around us. This is how we can recalibrate. This is how we can start to develop a deeper gratitude practice. And this is what starts to shift and raise our vibration. And then once we start to do that on a consistent basis, then we start to change our external reality, right? Okay, so that's my spiel in the beginning. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with Sunday, okay? So when you are tuning in, if you are tuning in on Sunday, the Capricorn full moon at 29 degrees is happening at 6:16 a.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so it is going to be exact at that time, but on Saturday, the energy is building, right? Even on Friday, you could have been feeling the intensity of this full moon. And it could really be emotionally intense for you. You could be feeling like things are really falling apart. You could be feeling like old emotional stuff is coming back up for you. And you're like, why? Why is this coming back up for me? Because I thought I already healed this to like enough of a degree, right? Like, why is it coming back up again? It's showing us that healing is not linear, that healing is in the spiral, and we can take a few steps forward, and then sometimes we will have an experience and it'll bring us a step or two back, and it's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Love on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. That's exactly what Capricorn wants to do, is be the tough love. But remember, when we have a full moon, we need to consider the sun. The sun is the other half of the full moon, right? The sun is beaming his light to the moon. And so while the moon is in Capricorn, which can be tough love, can be structure and working hard and having a work ethic, Capricorn is also our karma and timing. And so if some tough stuff, emotional stuff is coming up for you at this full moon, which for a lot of us it is because Pluto is there to unearth it, please know that you're right on time. This is divine timing at work, and the sun is in Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. Cancer is nurturing and protective, and so please do not be hard on yourself. Instead, reach across the sky to those Cancer energies and nurture yourself. What do you need emotionally right now? Where is the self-care? Where is the self-love? Maybe you just need to be in the bed. Maybe you need to go onto YouTube and watch some, cozy cottagecore videos. I've been getting into those recently. Maybe you need to watch your comfort show, whatever that is for you. Just please love on yourself and nurture yourself in whatever way you feel is calling to you at this full moon. Because it's going to shift quite dramatically. And I think that you're going to feel the shift when the moon moves into Aquarius. And that's going to happen really early also, like 7:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon shifts out of Capricorn into Aquarius, but now mind you, Pluto is sitting there, right? At 0 degrees of Aquarius. And so now Capricorn and Aquarius, though, very different energies. So let me get into the Aquarius energies, and hopefully I'll be able to explain this to you so you're going to see how you're going to shift emotionally. Because remember, the moon is our inner world, right? It is our moods. It is how we feel. It is our emotions. It's the stuff that people don't see, but that we feel internally. And so when the moon shifts from Capricorn in that full moon energy, right? That bigness, that intensity, and moves into Aquarius, we just went from earth into air. And Aquarius energy is ruled by, ancient ruler was Saturn. Modern ruler is Uranus. And so there's a really interesting combination of energies going on here with this Aquarius when the moon moves into Aquarius, coming off of that intense 29th degree, right, of the full moon. But I do believe there is some relief here. And you may feel a detachment emotionally. You may feel like you went from this intensity of feeling, like you were really deeply in it, Friday, Saturday. And then you wake up Sunday morning, depending on what time you wake up and where you are in the world also, by the way, what your time zone is. And all of a sudden, you may have a new perspective on what you were feeling so intensely. And you may feel an emotional detachment from whatever the thing was that felt so deep and so intense for you the past few days. And so there's a lot more going on here that I'm going to explain in just a moment. But I want to remind you that Aquarius is air energy, which means the mind. Aquarius is, in its highest expression, your true authentic self. Okay? And so Aquarius energy, when we tap into the rulership of Uranus, Uranus is all about the divine mind, the divine perspective. And so not only might you be feeling some detachment emotionally from whatever was feeling so intense, but you might have some epiphanies. You may make some mental connections and have some realizations in the way you're thinking about that thing, whatever that thing is for you. Now, this is going to really play out even more so because of the aspects that Mama Moon is making to Uranus, Mars, and the North Node. And to tell you the truth, this is some really positive, supportive energy. So I really hope that if you are listening to this on Sunday, you're going to feel hopeful, and you're going to feel motivated, and you're going to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to choose to tap into these energies and shift my perspective. I'm going to choose this. I'm choosing to align with these planetary energies that are here to support me. That would be a wonderful mantra for Sunday. So let me break it down. The moon is going to be, once she moves into Aquarius, she's going to be trining Uranus. A trine is a beautiful, supportive, and harmonious aspect. And so, as I was saying just a moment ago, Uranus is the divine mind. Uranus is awakening. Awakening sometimes to something that's been in front of us all along, but we just couldn't see it, right? Because we didn't have the perspective. Because our consciousness didn't have the wide lens yet, right? And so Mama Moon is going to trine Uranus, and I feel that is like your crown chakra is opening up, and you are able to receive those divine downloads. You're going to have the epiphanies. You're going to have those realizations dropping into your mind now, where you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I see it now. Now I see it. Now I know why it had to play out like this. Mama Moon in Aquarius is also going to be trining Mars, who has just moved into Gemini, another air sign. And so the moon in Aquarius, air, the mind, Mars in Gemini, air, the mind, a beautiful, harmonious aspect, right? To me, what this means is new beliefs about your next steps, about who you are now. Remember, Aquarius, your true, authentic self. I feel that this is going to be affecting the collective, because Aquarius, on the one hand, is your very unique, authentic, individual self, but it is also simultaneously the collective. And the way I always explain Aquarius is that those two things are not at odds, because my understanding of collective consciousness is that it is made up of individuals, right? We all make up. Our individual consciousness makes up on a wide scale the collective consciousness. And so when each individual person expands their own consciousness, does their own healing work, opens up their perspective, right? They shift their beliefs, they shed conditioning, they expand, then that shifts in the collective as well. Makes sense, doesn't it? And so the moon trining Mars in Gemini, wow, that is a really interesting energy, because Mars is not only our masculine energy, but Mars is our ability to be assertive, to take action, to advocate for oneself, to advocate for others. Mars wants to build something. Mars is the warrior, right? Will fight for what is right in the highest expressions. And so when Mars is in Gemini, Gemini is, yes, of course, it's an air sign, so it's the mind, but Gemini is the way we communicate. It is the way we take in information. It is the way we learn. And so you may be, with Mars moving into Gemini now, right? You may be like, you know what? I'm ready to see this in a new perspective. I'm ready to learn something new here. And that could be quite literally like, I'm ready to learn something new based on who I am now, right? My newfound authentic self that is emerging. I'm ready to learn something new based on who I am now. I'm ready to communicate in a new way based on who I am now. And then to top off, the cherry on top of this delicious Sunday is that the moon in Aquarius is also sextiling the north node and trining the south node. Again, beautiful, supportive, harmonious energy with the nodes, which on the one hand is allowing us to gracefully let go and release and surrender what no longer serves us in relationships, in our relationship dynamics, based on who we are now, your true authentic self. And sextiling the north node. A sextile has a little bit more oomph than a trine. A sextile says, yeah, I'm ready to take a few steps here too. I'm not just feeling it. I'm actually ready to take some action. So if you feel the urge to go somewhere, to do something, to look something up, to investigate something, to make those plans with that person, go for it. Whatever your little nudges are on Sunday, Monday, go for it. It's leading you in the right direction. Because it is, again, and you will hear me use this analogy time and again when it comes to the North Node, because it's so personal to me, but it is that yellow brick road. And it is that yellow brick road that Dorothy follows when she is wearing those beautiful ruby slippers, right? Each brick in the road is lighting up for her to guide her forward. She doesn't know exactly where that path is taking her, but she trusts that she's going back home. And of course, when she gets to the end of that road, she realizes that, and also Glinda the Good Witch tells her, right, you've had it in you all along, my dear. And so my hope is that before we transition, we realize that we have it within us, and to just trust that intuitive voice guiding us forward. And so when the moon is in Aquarius and we are able to see ourselves, know ourselves in a more authentic way, understanding what our emotional needs are, the moon, our emotional needs, and what we need authentically, not what anybody else needs from us, not what anybody else expects from us, or what they've conditioned us to think is important. No, when we're trusting our own unique needs emotionally, then we can listen to that intuitive voice, and then we can take the steps that are calling to us This is beautiful, beautiful energy on tap for us on Sunday. And the other really interesting energy that's taking place is with the sun. And the sun is in a harmonious aspect to Neptune. And they're both at 29 degrees. And so in this situation, when we're having a trine, harmonious support, and it's at 29 degrees, that tells me we're mastering something here. Remember, the sun is your sense of self. Neptune is divine love. Neptune is, it's unconditional love. It's connecting to spirit. It's connecting to your own creativity. It's daydreaming. It's romanticizing. So, you really may be feeling like you can dream a little bit. You can have that hope. And I encourage you to daydream and create in your mind what you want to experience, what you want to feel, what you want to do, and who you want to do it with that is going to be supportive of you and who you are now and who you are evolving into. The other really interesting aspect that is happening is with Mercury. And Mercury is exactly squaring Uranus. Now, Mercury is the way we think. It's our human mind, okay? It's the human mind, it's our thoughts, it's the way we think, it's the way we communicate, the way we talk, the way we learn. And Uranus is the higher mind, as I mentioned earlier. And so when Mercury is aspecting Uranus, even if it's in a square, which can be a more challenging aspect, I just feel that that is going to be offering us, again, some lightning bolts, just like you're looking at in this picture, lightning bolts of knowing something, of seeing something that you didn't see before, of understanding, right? Of making that mental connection like, oh, geez, now I see it. I just connected the dots. The final aspect I want to talk about on Sunday is that Venus is going to be sextiling Jupiter. And that's beautiful, harmonious, big, big self-love energy. Now, if you are in a relationship, a romantic relationship, you have feelings for someone, you may be feeling those feelings in a big way. And so that could really feel beautiful. That could really feel good. And I guess I would say if it feels good to you to express that to that person, then go for it. If you feel that it will be reciprocated, if you feel that it will be appreciated, right? Okay, so I want to move on to Monday. And Monday is a big day, and it's a big shift. Let's see, what is my next slide here? Oh yes. I hope you guys enjoy these. I'm going to keep putting these up as we change seasons. So welcome to Leo season. Yay! Yay for all the Leos out there. I'm a Leo sun. So I made these for my moon sisters, and these are AI generated, but then I kind of embellished a little bit with frames and with flowers and things like that. But yes, so here we have our Leo tabby cat and we have our Leo golden retriever. And aren't they cute? But yes, it is Leo season starting on Monday. And that is a big shift, guys. Okay, so part of also why we've been feeling such intensity for the last month is because it's been Cancer season and we've been in our feels. And it has been all of that watery, emotional energy with all of that really tough Capricorn energy culminating in this full moon. And so part of the shift that we're feeling now at the beginning of this week is that, yes, the moon is in Aquarius, so we know that that's a shift, right? How I kind of explained that. But now the sun is shifting into Leo. Leo is fire, fixed fire, right? Leo is the fire in the fire pit at summertime, right? Like, go get out your marshmallows. We're going to make s'mores, okay? Because Leo is also very in touch with their inner child and creative. Leo wants to have a little bit of fun. So let's have a little bit of fun, guys. Let's set the intention for Leo season. The end of July, towards the end of August, let's have a little fun, okay? Let's tap into our creativity. Go get the chocolate and the marshmallows, okay? Treat yourself a little bit. Enjoy the little things. Remember when we were kids, we didn't need the fancy stuff to have fun, right? We could literally have fun in the mud, okay? We can make, mud cakes. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be grandiose. We can have fun in the small, simple ways that bring us joy. Okay? So whatever that is for you, go to Michael's, go get a paint by number and just have some fun. Go get some Play-Doh. Have some fun. Like, tap into your inner child. It will be rejuvenating. Okay. So now on Monday, Leo season begins. So now we have the sun, we have Venus, and we have Mercury, all three in Leo. So we're loving in a more fun way. Our aesthetic, maybe our sense of fashion may be a little bit more fun. Our communication, be careful not to roar at anybody, right? But certainly Leo in its highest expressions is the heart-led leader, the open-hearted, the brave-hearted leader. The generosity of spirit comes through with Leo. Leo is a leader, Leo is the king or the queen. So, yeah, tap into your inner lion. If you're into tarot at all, the Strength card is also the Leo card, shows a woman opening the mouth of a lion. And there are different interpretations, of course, of this card, but tap into your inner strength, right? Leo is the solar plexus and the heart chakra. So you know what, maybe go for Reiki and ask your practitioner to focus on your solar plexus and your heart chakra, or if you don't go for Reiki, you can, it's energy, guys. It's energy. Go onto YouTube and find a practitioner, a Reiki practitioner, and who's concentrating on your solar plexus chakra, who's concentrating on your heart chakra, and give yourself a distance Reiki experience in your own home from YouTube, because you know what? It's all energy anyway. Okay, so the moon in Aquarius on Monday is opposing Venus in Leo at exactly 13 degrees. 13 is the number of the divine feminine. So be open to receiving love in all its forms. Receive love from spirit and your angels and your guides and your higher self. Receive love from your loved ones. Give love, right? Really, truly, this is a very embodied and balanced energy, because the moon, feminine, is in Aquarius, which is masculine. Venus, feminine, is in Leo, which is masculine. So we have our two feminine luminaries in their sister signs of that are masculine energy. And I feel this is very balanced. This is a very beautiful inner balance of our divine feminine and divine masculine energies. So, be open to receive the love and also give it out, right? Giving is actually masculine. I know people like their eyebrows raise when I say that and when I teach that, but it's true. Giving is doing. Receiving is feminine. Giving and doing is masculine. So give and receive love on Monday in whatever ways that feel good to you. The moon is making gorgeous aspects on Monday to Jupiter in Gemini, the South Node in Libra, and the North Node in Aries. So I'll break it down. The moon in Aquarius, again, feeling into our true authentic selves, who we are emerging into now. When we've been shedding all of these old layers, right, is making a beautiful, harmonious aspect to Jupiter, the planet of blessings and expansion. So you really might be, now let me just say, Jupiter's in Gemini, which again is the mind. It's how we think and communicate and learn. So we are really on Monday, it's like we're really having clarity about who we are now, and in a big way. In a big way, whenever the moon aspects Jupiter, we're feeling the moon, feeling in a big way Jupiter. So we're feeling into our authentic self today. You're just feeling good in your own skin. The moon is also aspecting harmoniously both of the nodes. The South Node, again, letting go of those relationships that honestly, they just don't resonate anymore. Because you know why? Because you're leveling up. Because you're evolving. Because you are embodying your true authentic self more and more. And so the more you do that, not everybody can come along because they're not vibrationally matching who you are now. And so the moon is trining the South Node, which is not harsh, it's graceful, it's harmonious. And so you will be letting go with grace. You will be letting go with softness and compassion. And with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for what you taught me, right? Thank you for what I learned in this dynamic, in this experience with you. But I'm ready to move on in the North Node in Aries. The North Node in Aries is all about stepping onto that path forward into who you truly are. What is good for you? Aries is all about you. It's all about yourself, not the other. What's good for you? Let's be self-affirming, right? Let's really take some time and focus on self needs. You know, what does that mean to you, right? What do you need to live a true authentic life? It's not about pleasing everybody else and what their needs are. It's time for us to focus on ourselves and really getting in touch with who we are, what our needs are, what our goals are, what our ambitions are. That's all Aries energy, right? It's that inner warrior, being able to advocate for oneself. This is all beautiful Aries energy, the high expressions of Aries. And that you're willing to fight for yourself a little bit. It doesn't mean that you need to hurt anyone in the process, of course not. You can advocate for yourself, even if that means others may not want that. You can still advocate for yourself. And so it is about stepping into that new sense of independence. That's also a beautiful Aries word. This is gorgeous energy happening for us on Monday. And you know, with the sun in Leo, the sun in Leo is fire too. You know, it is also about the self. You know, in the lower expression, sometimes Leo can be really self-absorbed, right? Like walk in the room and it's like, oh yes, it's the me show. It's all about me. Everybody, you know, have your eyes on me. But in the higher expressions, it's a healthy self-confidence. It's a healthy sense of self. And that's what we're going for here. We're not going for selfishness, right? Where it's I only win if you lose. It's not about that anymore. We're moving away from those paradigms and those ways of being. We want everyone to be able to experience a win-win, definitely, but it's got to start with ourselves. And we have to take accountability for those ways in which that we've sidelined what our own needs are. And we're allowed to change, and we're allowed to shift, and we're allowed to evolve. And you don't have to stay in a place, in a relationship, in a way of being, in a dynamic that just doesn't resonate for you anymore. That's how you know you're honoring your North Node. You're growing and you're moving forward. Okay. Now we're going to have another shift again on Tuesday. And, well, before I get into Tuesday, happy solar return, Leo, right? So this is your solar return month. And really, truly, if you've never done a solar return reading, it is so incredible. When I started doing them for myself several years ago, and then I started doing them for my daughters, it's just mind-blowing how true they are, how the energies of the year ahead for you, first of all, they start playing out about 3 months before your birthday. And so when I do these readings, you will already from the get-go be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that already started playing out for me. It is so exciting to get a little glimpse into what's on offer for you for this next birth year. It's another layer, and it really truly plays out. It's incredible to have this level of self-awareness of the energies that are really going to be prevalent for you in the year ahead and how you can work with them in the highest expressions, right? That's always what we want. And how you can learn from anything that might show up that's going to be challenging. So yeah, so I'm just going to put that out there. And really, truly, it's a great birthday gift for yourself if you're a Leo and this is Leo season, but you can have a solar return reading for yourself at any point in the year, and it'll still resonate. And, you know, even if you're halfway through your birth year, you still got half a year left to go. And so you can tap into it at any time. Okay, so I'll just leave that up there, but I want to get into Tuesday, July 23rd, because the moon is going to shift again. And so she's moving into Pisces. And Pisces, I love Pisces energy. I mean, some of the closest people in my life have been and are Pisces people. And of course, Pisces, like all of the signs, has a whole range, a whole spectrum of energies. And so when the moon moves into Pisces, this energy, you can be feeling, you know, a range of different things. And in the lower expressions, Pisces can feel disillusioned or sad or drop into that victim mindset. And like you just want to give up. And the moon is going to be making a square to Mars in Gemini on Tuesday. And so with Mars in Gemini, that is thoughts, right? That is the mind. And so you may be feeling like you want to take action, or you don't have the energy to take the action. So you really have to just feel into how this is playing out for you and honor that. So whatever you're feeling, if you are dropping down into some of the lower expressions, it's okay. You need to drop into it. Now, do I want you to stay there? No. I don't want you to stay in victim energy. I want you to give yourself a time limit. If something is bringing you down, if something is coming up for you that feels heavy, that feels sad, that you just wish wasn't so, then allow yourself to feel it. You know I always say that. But give yourself a time limit on how long you're going to allow yourself to stay in that sadness, and say, you know what? I'm going to give myself the morning, and then I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to cleanse that energy, or I'm going to wash my hands at a certain time in nice cold water. I'm going to cleanse that energy, and then I'm going to take some action in my life that's going to help me shift. Okay? Whatever that is for you. Pisces also signifies endings, right? It is the final sign in the zodiac. And so you could really be feeling like you're completing something. You're wrapping something up. You're done with something. And that, you can feel any which way about that. You can feel multitude of ways about something. You can feel both relieved that something is ending and also sad. You can feel, like it's right for you to end something, to be done with something, and you can also feel grief about that. Allow yourself the different layers to be expressed. Allow yourself to feel both things. We have to expand our understanding when it comes to our emotional intelligence, that it doesn't mean just because you want something to end and it's ending that you can't also be a little sad about that. Right? So we're expanding our emotional intelligence in this way. We are also receiving a supportive aspect with Mars and the Sun at 1 degree. Okay, so Mars has just moved into Gemini and the Sun has just moved into Leo. And so we have this fiery Leo energy and this very gregarious, friendly, chatty, communicative Gemini energy. And so, yeah, you may feel a little fired up, like you're ready to take some action, like you want to have a conversation, you want to learn something new. Whatever it is for you, channel that for good, right? And allow that to move you in the direction. If you have been feeling some sadness, allow that energy, tap into the Mars-Sun energy to get you going again. Okay, let's see. The moon is going to stay in Pisces throughout Wednesday. And the moon is also going to be, when the moon is in Pisces, she's also going to be making a little bit of a challenging aspect to Venus. And it's called an inconjunct or a quincunx. Sometimes I'll use that word. And really what that energy feels like is, it's like incompatibility. Okay? You can't see eye to eye. So if the moon is in Pisces and the moon is in her feels and she's feeling the oneness and the compassion and the kindness and maybe even the creativity, and Venus is in Leo, which is, that fixed fire, and it's like she's all lit up and passionate, and like they're not exactly, the way they're aspecting each other, they're not really on the same page. Okay? And that can play out in a relationship for you with another person, or it could be within yourself. it really will depend on where these planets, where both Pisces and Leo are in your chart, right? And so those are going to play out in those areas of life. So if you know your chart, maybe look up those two areas and see where this is playing out. So if you're feeling some level of resistance in your life with another person or a project or really anything within you, it could be, don't push. If there's resistance, if you're hitting a brick wall, don't push. Just say, okay, all right, I see that, I hear that. Maybe see if you can be a little flexible, right? Tap into the Pisces mutability and see if you can flow with whatever changes or whatever resistance is coming up. Leo is fixed. Leo wants what it wants when it wants it, said a Leo, said every Leo everywhere. But, you know, try to tap into the Pisces, feel into that Pisces mutability, go with the flow a little bit more, and see if that can help you move through whatever resistance you might be feeling. If you are feeling resistance, I would also say just let go of it. Pisces can be very good at surrendering and letting go. Don't push, right? Just be. Don't try to do. That Leo masculine energy wants to do. But if you're hitting resistance, then stop banging your head against the brick wall and just be. Okay. The moon in Pisces is also, I'm sorry to say, going to be having a square to Jupiter in Gemini. And so the way I am seeing that is that your mind, right, Gemini, could be really spinning out, or you're going down that rabbit hole, right? Again, if you can just stick a pin in that, whatever that is for you, maybe write it out, journal, get it out of your mind. Try to tap into the Pisces energy while the moon is in watery Pisces. Go by the ocean if you live near the ocean. If you don't, then pull up ocean waves and sounds on YouTube and just chill out for a little while to those soothing sounds. Come back to yourself, right? Set the intention to come back to your inner self and just get centered with the ocean. Pisces really is the ocean. It's the depths. It's that oneness of the divine. So connect to something higher than whatever lower energies are bringing you down. Because if you are feeling any of those lower energies, sadness that something is ending, any sort of victim mindset, it's going to shift. So don't go in too deep. Trust that it's going to shift pretty quickly, because come Thursday, Mama Moon moves out of that watery Pisces into the frying pan. She moves into Aries, the fire sign, the sign of the self, the sign of independence and autonomy, and, you know, advocating for oneself. And so now we have this beautiful moon in Aries trining the sun in Leo. Fiery, fiery, fire. So Thursday is like, it's all about me. That can be your mantra for Thursday. Yeah, Thursday is all about me day. Okay? Everybody else can just deal with it. And there's a lot of really positive aspects happening on Thursday. The moon is going to be sextiling Mars and sextiling Pluto. And so you're going to feel like, yes, I feel energized. I'm ready to take action for myself. Maybe you're going to feel like you can go exercise or go for a run or move your energy, dance, move your energy in your body in some way. And with that beautiful sextile, Mama Moon to Pluto, wow. Are you going to feel empowered? And guess what, guys? The moon is going to be conjunct the North Node on Thursday, our destined path ahead. This is exquisite. This is empowerment. This is like, yes, I am ready to take those next steps. I know who I am, Aries. I know what I want, Aries. I'm confident in myself, Aries. Sun is in Leo. I'm all about being a heart-led leader in my own life. Mars is firing me up. Pluto is empowering me. And the North Node is lighting up every step of the way forward for me. So tap into all of this beautifully fiery, inspiring energy on Thursday. Friday, the moon is still in Aries. And now the moon is not incompatible with Venus, but very compatible and very harmonious with Venus in Leo. So we got a whole lot of fire, a whole lot of passion, a whole lot of inspiration flowing to us on Friday. The moon is going to also be sextiling Jupiter. So what are you feeling about your own expanded self, your own expanded perspective now? How do you see yourself now? That's a great question for Friday. Who are you now? Who is this new self emerging? How are you going to talk to this new self? That inner talk, right? How are you going to communicate as this new self with others? How are you going to think? How is your new sense of self thinking about a situation? Not your old sense of self, your new sense. Because guess what? Mercury, our planet of thinking and perspective and learning and communication, Mercury is moving into Virgo on Friday. So Virgo is all about being, when Mercury is in Virgo, this is all about being impeccable with your word, impeccable with your communication, impeccable with how you speak to yourself and others. And I have pulled this up for you all, The Four Agreements, that incredible book. If you have not read it, I highly recommend, by Don Miguel Ruiz. He's written many books, but this was his original, and it is really it is a guide to personal freedom, because when you are impeccable with your word, what that means is that you choose your words carefully. You respect the power of words, and not just their meaning, but their connotation, what it evokes, right? I was born with Mercury in Virgo, and so that has always been very important to me. And so, are you using the right words to really express how you feel and what you think? You want to be careful of how and when you speak to others. And when Mercury is in Virgo, it just kind of stresses that more. So it just highlights that more. And so you don't want to micromanage others necessarily, which of course Virgo can dip into that in the lower expressions, right? It can be that micromanager, and that critical, like judgmental energy can come through with Virgo if it's playing out in the lower expressions. So just be wary, right? Be wary of that. And be wary of that in terms of how you speak to yourself, okay? Catch yourself when you're judging yourself. Catch yourself when you're saying, oh, that was so stupid, I can't believe I did that. No. We don't talk to ourselves like that anymore. We deserve better. We don't denigrate ourselves. We don't judge ourselves. And so allow this time when Mercury moves through Virgo, which of course Mercury will be retrograding here as well. So that is going to be on tap, okay? this really reflecting on that inner talk and how you speak to yourself. So, we're really, this is being also highlighted because we're already in the shadow of Mercury going retrograde. Mercury won't go retrograde until August 4th, but we're already in the shadow zone of that, which means Mercury will be coming back over these degree points. And so just let's be really self-aware about our self-talk, talking to ourselves impeccably, right? How would you talk to your best friend? How would you talk to your loved one? And do you give yourself the same level of kindness, compassion, and consideration? And maybe let's set the intention for that during this shadow period leading up to Mercury retrograde, because come August 4th, and then for almost all of August, when Mercury is retrograde, we really want to fine-tune this. We really want to reflect on that inner self-talk. Okay. What else do I want to say about Friday? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, just be careful not to, don't put your foot in your mouth, right? That's part of being impeccable with your words. Sometimes we need to think before we speak, and so I would just put that little disclaimer out there also. And then we're going to move into Saturday. The moon is still in Aries, but the moon is going to be passing over Chiron, the wounded healer. And so this, again, can play out in a spectrum of energies. You can feel sensitive or a little oversensitive, or your senses may be heightened, your emotional sensitivity, or you could feel like you're showing up in a more healed version of yourself in a situation on Saturday. Now, when it comes to the feeling maybe oversensitive, that brings me to yet another one of the 4 agreements, which is don't take anything personally. And so if you, on Saturday, let's say, if you have some interaction with someone, right? You hear something or someone says something to you, or it's in a conversation, and you feel like, whoa, like you're taking it really personally, and you're feeling really like it was an attack at you, and listen, you have to discern for yourself if someone's legit, like verbally attacking you, right? But I'm saying if you can sit with that and you can be like, no, they weren't trying to hurt me, but I was a little triggered, right? Then take a step back and say, wait, is this about them and something that they're going through, that they're working through, that's coming from a projection of theirs? Or is it, because if that's the case, then I don't have to take it personally. I can choose how I want to feel about that comment. I can choose how I want to feel about their decision. And I don't have to feel hurt by it. I don't have to feel wounded by that. And of course, this is going to play out differently for everyone, but I just wanted to put that out there again with the 4 agreements, that's one of the agreements is about not taking things personally, because when we stop taking everything personally, that it's not all about us, right? Which is so interesting, because when the moon is in Aries, we feel like it is about us. So ironically, it may be something coming up for you to heal on your own, that we're not looking for somebody else to heal it for us. If we're feeling triggered, then that's an indication that something is there that maybe we need to tend to, right? That we need to just go in a little deeper and say, okay, where's this actually really coming from? Is it from this person, or is it from something a long time ago? Something that I'm still working on. And that's okay. So what else? What else do I want to say Saturday? Yeah, the moon is in Aries. So at this point, though, the moon is going to be trining Mercury. So the moon in Aries, still very much in ourselves, right? In our own independent, authentic self energy, and making a harmonious trine to Mercury, who's now in Virgo. You know, to me, I see this as clarity, having clarity about yourself and what you want, what you think, what you need, just having clarity about you right now. And to me, that feels pretty awesome. The sun in Leo is also going to be trining the North Node on Saturday. So remember, the moon in Aries is about the self, and the sun in Leo is about the self, a lot of fiery energy. And so when the sun is making that beautiful harmonious aspect to the North Node, our destined path forward, I just really feel it's such a shift. I just feel like this is such a shift this week that we're ready to take those steps forward, because we're not who we once were. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a pat on the back. Look back to see how far you've come. Feel empowered. Feel gratitude for all that you've been through, because it's made you who you are today. And who you are today is something special. You're strong and you're resilient. And you are ever evolving. You are on a growth path. You must be, or you would not be listening to this podcast. You are open to learning. You are open to evolving. That's why we came here, guys. We didn't come to just be this one iteration and just stay in that. That's not why we come to Earth School, right? It's a school. We're here to learn. And so I'm going to end this week with Saturday, with the moon in Aries, with the sun in Leo, and let your heart lead you forward. Who you are now, what your heart wants, what you desire in your life, what you desire to experience, the type of people that you want to be around, the type of work that you want to do in the world. Let's take these first steps. Rome was not built in a day, and it's not collapsing in a day either, right? It's a process. So let's just start by taking those first steps forward with this new energy of who you are now. Let it unfold. Let your heart lead the way. Let your true authentic self beam in that fiery energy of Aries and Leo. Because come Sunday, and I will be back next Sunday with the next week's podcast, but come Sunday, the moon's going to move into Taurus, and so that's embodied energy. That's grounded earth energy. So, and then guess what? We're going to have a gorgeous new moon in Leo coming up on the 4th of August. So please know that it's going to get better. Things are going to really start lighting up. But we need to do our part too. We need to let go of who we once were with grace and gratitude. We need to put a limit on the level of victim energy that we allow ourselves to entertain. And we need to move our energy. We need to take steps. We need to co-create with the universe, right? I always say, we can't just sit around on the couch eating bonbons all day and expect the universe to do it all for us. We have to do our part too. So tap into this fiery Leo energy, tap into the fiery energy of Aries and the self and who you are now. You may not know all the steps. Just take it one step at a time. Okay? It's going to unfold. It's going to be beautiful. And I'm so deeply honored to be on this path with you all. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for your energy and your time and your blessings. Thank you for sharing on this channel. When you share and other people read your comments, you know, we are energetically connecting with one another. We are building community together. And thank you. Thank you so much. I am sending you so much love. I will see you soon under the moon. Bye-bye for now.